Yo, what it is, what it ain't, what it will be. Welcome back to the Who's Next Music Show with your host, Uncle Mike. This is episode 24. This is a very, very special episode, very dear to my heart. We're going to be talking about some very serious topics today. We're going to be talking about music, of course. We're going to talk about things that you might not know that you're going to learn today. Today, I got a very, very special guest. Very special guest. A very special person. Her name is Mrs. Jessica Glaspie.
Hello.
Hello
Thank you for having me.
there. Absolutely. Yeah, Jessica is one of my good friends, almost a sister of about 20 years, y'all. And Jessica is the GOAT. I'm just going to read y'all some of the stuff that she got going on. So here are her accolades. Bear with me. Jessica is an author. She has a bachelor's degree. She's pursuing her master's degree. She has interviews with Revolt TV, Essence, Women's Health Magazine. She spoke on panels for many different universities all across the country. She's working on a council right now for
Diversity, equity, inclusion.
diversity, equity, inclusion,
That's right.
DIE, okay? For HIV awareness at a major hospital system. She's also a single mother, and she's also a Zeta. So y'all give it up for Miss Jessica Glaspie.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So Jessica gonna be pretty much co-hosting with me today, y'all. We're gonna be talking about a lot of things, y'all. A whole lot of things. So first and foremost, let me just ask you, Jessica, how have you been doing?
Good.
You doing
Good.
good?
I,
Okay.
I've been in Texas about 5 years.
Okay.
Moved around a little bit,
Yeah.
but so far, this has been my favorite place.
Okay.
Plan
Okay.
on staying a while.
Okay. Dope. Dope. That's good. Okay. I got just a couple questions for you. Then we're going to dive into some music before I ask you to just divulge into your story and to everything you know and your education and everything like that.
Gotcha.
So, the first thing I want to talk about is, did you guys know that April 10th was National Youth HIV and AIDS Awareness Day? So, if you didn't, y'all, April 10th, um, do you know, real quick, do you know of any like testing sites that they could go to, or do you know or anywhere that they can find information for the youth about HIV and AIDS awareness?
There is a lot of resources that are available. It depends on really where you live. I would maybe do a quick Google search on HIV and AIDS resources near me. Here in Tarrant County, we have the AIDS Outreach Center. We have Can Community Health in Arlington. There is the Texas Public Health in Tarrant County. So it's a lot of opportunities, to get resources and things like that as it pertains to youth.
Okay.
So even if it's not youth, right, we have a lot of awareness days. April 10th is one of them.
Mhm.
In March, we have National Women and Girls HIV and AIDS Awareness Day. February, we have National Black HIV and AIDS Awareness Day.
Dope.
Yeah, so there's awareness days for all kinds of ethnicities, youth, things like that. So CDC.gov has a lot of information too that you can find as it relates to HIV and AIDS awareness, testing,
Okay.
safe sex options, all the things.
Okay. So before we continue talking about HIV and AIDS and awareness and everything else, let's back it up a little bit.
Okay,
Let's talk a little bit about music.
let's.
See, me and Jessica, we met in college. We bonded over music, fashion. She was from Chicago, Illinois. I'm from East St. Louis, Illinois. Her dorm room was like 2, 3 doors down from mine. Yeah, this woman like my sister, y'all. Like very super close. And she's a boss. And she know her music. So, first and foremost, I want to ask you, I want to get your opinion. How did you feel about the Beyonce album?
Um,
How you feel about Beyonce?
to be clear, to be honest,
Yeah,
I don't feel like I'm in a great position to speak because I'm not a Beyonce fan.
that's why I asked you.
So her album to me, I just don't feel like she was the first to do it. I feel like she got the popularity because she's Beyonce. But the other day I was in the car and Nelly's song came on with Tim McGraw. That's an old song.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. 100%.
So and that wasn't the first country song that he did either. And actually Monica is working on a country album too.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So it's, to me, it's just heightened
Okay.
because she's Beyonce. The album was okay. It wasn't necessarily my cup of tea, but I just don't think that she was the first to do it, and she got the hype because she is Beyonce.
Yeah.
It is a good album, but as far as it skyrocketing number one and things like that, I don't know that I feel that.
Okay. I respect that. Okay. Huh?
Nikki Guyton was the first one. She's from here.
Oh, Nikki Guyton is. Mickey Guyton.
Mm-hmm.
I remember you telling me that. Yeah. Mickey Guyton, we just got word that Mickey Guyton was the first African American country singer who did her thing. And she's from Dallas.
Nominated for 4 Grammys.
Nominated for 4 Grammys. Wow, that's impressive. That's what's up.
First African American lady.
That's what's up. Most definitely. That's what's up. Okay, yeah, we're gonna talk about some new music that just came out. We got Big X the Plug. You listen to Big X the Plug?
Nope.
Okay. I'm from Texas.
I do.
Okay.
I do.
So Big X the Plug, he just came out with it's a single. It's called Meet the Sixers. Definitely good. Tap into it if you ain't tapped into it. Of course, Metro Boomin and Future, they came out with We Don't Trust You. We also came out with We Still Don't Trust You. Both albums, hits. Hit after hit after hit after hit. I'm one of the biggest Future fans, and I'm also a Drake fan. But them 2 albums is hidden.
Future and Metro Boomin is about to be here.
Really?
Yes, they have a concert here in Dallas.
Okay.
I can't remember the exact day.
Okay.
But they'll be here.
Very nice. I'll be in attendance. I'll be in attendance. I done saw Future about 4 times, and I'm gonna go see him again for sure.
I do like Future.
Future the Wizard for sure. Also, another great album, y'all, is the Concrete Boys. That's Lil Yachty and his team. They got an album that's called It's Us, Volume 1. It's cracking. It's cracking. You mess with Lil Yachty?
A little bit. I'm not, rap is just today's rap is not my thing. I do like some of them, but for the most part, let's talk about Queen Naja's album.
Okay.
That After the Butterflies.
Okay.
So lit.
What about
Anne-Marie from Chicago? So underrated.
The Rolling Stone rated No Name the number one, No Name's newest album, the number 1 album in 2023. Rolling Stone.
For real?
Yeah. I was like, yo, shout out No Name Chicago. What up?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Anne-Marie is opening for Monica in Seattle. So I'll be going to see
Seattle.
that. Yes, I'm going to Seattle in 2 weeks.
Y'all, she love Monica, y'all.
I do.
She been loving Monica for a long time,
That's
y'all.
my dog.
Shout out Monica. Shout out Monica. For sure.
Her Still Standing album got me. That was right after I tested positive for HIV. She released Still Standing. So obviously the song was already playing on the radio and everything like that before the album came out. So Monica, she got me through. Her music got me through a lot. And I talked about this on my Revolt TV interview as well, because I think people underestimate the abilities that music has to put you in a different space, make you feel better, you know what I'm saying? Things like that. It's not everybody's therapy, but it's mine. So I was appreciative of the album. And even before then, I was a Monica fan. But after that album, I was really, really, really in tune with her. I think she's a great artist. She's real. And her music it teaches lessons. Like the last chapter of my book is called Believing in Me. And that came from her song called Believing in Me on her album, on her Still Standing album. And she talked about believing in herself and, self-love, self-care kind of thing. So music has always been super, super, super important to me. I've been journaling since 2007. So I listen to music when I'm journaling, when I'm writing. When I wrote my book, it was late nights, early mornings, you know what I'm saying? So music, so Yeah, like I think people really, really, really underestimate like what music does for us as a community.
100%.
Hmm.
Like we spoke about the other day, like music is around us 24/7, whether we like it or not. When we wake up in the morning, I mean, even our alarm clock sound is some form of music.
Yeah,
You know, whenever we're testing as kids, they play classical music. Um, we all got different genres of music, but it's still music in some form. And I firmly stand on music is my favorite form of art because it gets us through hard times, gets us through life in general. You know what I'm saying? Music plays a huge part of everybody's life on a daily basis. Whether you listen to country, rock, rap, gospel, alternative, heavy metal, whatever you're listening to, music still plays a heavy part of our lives on a daily basis. So definitely shout out to Monica. Definitely shout out to that Still Standing album. Definitely shout out to that
yes, for
for
sure.
helping Jessica. Actually, I ain't even gonna talk about this new music. Let's get into your story. You mentioned it a little bit. Let's just get into your story. So you are an HIV survivor,
Advocate.
advocate.
Hmm.
Okay. Can you tell us how you contracted HIV
Of course.
and how your story and how you blossomed from it, how you doing so many miraculous things while still having HIV,
Yeah,
and because it's such a negative stereotype with HIV, but
it is.
I have learned through you that it doesn't have to be negative.
I agree.
And I teach people this all the time. You know what I'm saying? So can you just enlighten us on that and just touch on it, stuff like
Sure,
that?
sure, sure, sure. I tested positive for HIV in 2009. I was dating someone. I was actually leaving a relationship in college. And I was visiting in Atlanta. It was supposed to be like a quick summer thing, and I ended up not wanting to go back to Southern Illinois. I graduated from Southern Illinois University in Edwardsville, and I ended up not wanting to go back because my relationship had failed. The relationship that I was running from, for lack of better words. I met this guy while I was living in it. I moved to Atlanta. I met him at a traffic light. That gets everybody every time because they're like, a traffic light.
Yeah.
Yes, a traffic light.
That's where I pull out mine too. I ain't lying. Our traffic lights. I promise you.
Don't roll your window down. Just don't
Traffic
roll your window
lights.
down. Um, he was motioning for me to roll my window down. I'm not going to take the whole time to go into all the details, but long story short, I ended up rolling my window down, gave him my information, and we went our separate ways. We hit it off. We talked every day in and day out for hours. Ended up getting in a relationship, and we had been together about a year. When I tested positive, um, I had gotten to an altercation. I had a roommate at the time, and everybody back in like college and high school, they used to call me a little bit, but I was like a little firecracker. So I got into a altercation with a roommate I had at the time, and I went and saw my primary care physician, and he couldn't really figure out why my lymph nodes were swollen. So your lymph nodes are down the side of your neck. They're right here and your armpits, and they go in your groin down here. And all of mine were swollen, but there was only one that was so swollen that it was protruding out of the side of my neck. So the doctor kept telling me to like come back. He was giving me, antibiotics or whatever it was to get the inflammation down. And then he finally referred me to an ENT, a ear, nose, and throat doctor. And when I went to the ENT, he looked in the back of my throat and he did some other, testing or felt around, whatever. And he said that it looked like I had HIV, but it could be lymphoma, which is a form of cancer. And he took a whole bunch of blood tests that day and sent me about my way. He scheduled me for a biopsy. The biopsy was scheduled for like a week or two later after that ENT appointment. And when I went into the hospital for my biopsy, my blood test had come back and it was positive for HIV. So I got my positive diagnosis at a hospital on a day I was supposed to have surgery. It was December 21st, 2009. So it was right before Christmas. Um, I was devastated. I was only 22. I was living my best life in Atlanta, but I was in a monogamous relationship with the guy that I met at the traffic light. So he was the first person I called after I tested positive, broke the news. He wanted to be ride or die. I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna ride with you. We're gonna do this together. But about 18 months later, I had been positive like 18 months. I found out he was born with HIV and that he just didn't tell me the whole time that we were together. And that's when I left Atlanta. So I left Atlanta in 2011. I moved back to Southern Illinois and finished my degree. And that's when I got my bachelor's. I graduated in 2015 with my bachelor's degree in business management. So that's my story in a nutshell. It is a little more complicated. I started advocating in the end of 2015. After I graduated, I moved back to the Chicago area and I started my advocacy journey through the AIDS Foundation of Chicago. And from that, that was my platform. Their PR team offered me a couple of opportunities. The first one was with WGN to help promote the AIDS Walk of Chicago. So that was my first stint of like being on camera and Team Jessica. I think we had that year 19 walkers that walked with me that year. So it was really cool. But after that, they were like, hey, so and so wants to do Women's Health Magazine, wants to do a story on this. And so it just kind of blossomed from there. The Revolt TV interview was an interview with a childhood friend of mine. So she's used to be in media back in Chicago. She moved to New York. She reached out to me and asked me to do the interview for National Black HIV and AIDS Awareness Day. So I did that. And that Revolt interview has a little over 5 million views on it today. I think it's about 5.3. And from that interview became a lot of opportunities for Essence Magazine, Madame Noir. Recently, I did a feature for them on their website. I do speaking engagements at colleges and universities or whatever special event that they may need me to speak at. I think what attracts people is that I am a cisgender, heterosexual Black woman. A lot of times the stigma is that it only happens in the gay community, and that is not true. It will happen to anybody that engages in the activities that will cause you to contract HIV, which is unprotected sex, sharing needles, and you can do it by breast milk if you don't have an undetectable viral load. So I know that's probably a lot to take in, but in a nutshell, that's my story. That's my advocacy work. Released a book in 2021 called Life, Love, and HIV. So if you want more of the story, you can definitely find it in the book, and it's available on Amazon or lifeloveandhiv.com.
Good job. Okay, okay. That's what's up. This is definitely what's up. You said a lot. Sincerely appreciate you for telling all of that.
Oh,
And
wait, but let me say one thing.
okay.
Mike was the first person I called the day I tested positive when I got home. I called the boyfriend I was with at the time at the hospital, and I called my mom while I was at the hospital. But when I got home, I called Mike.
Yep. Wow. I remember that too.
Mm-hmm.
Also, she also left out too. She used to throw, remember you used to throw them galas?
Yes, HIV and AIDS Awareness Gala I used to
Yeah.
do every year
Okay.
in the Chicago area. That was actually a really good time.
Absolutely.
I moved.
I think you need to run it back.
I do.
Think
I
you need
should
to
run
run
it
it
back
back.
here in Dallas,
Absolutely.
huh?
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
think you need to bring that back.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
So y'all, Jessica just gave y'all the rundown of her life. Definitely go get her book. It's on Amazon. Check her out. It's a good read. Very good read. It's on Kindle too, right?
Yeah.
You can get it on
Kindle.
ebooks, Kindle,
Yep.
ebooks, wherever you get your automated books from. Definitely check it out. And that's dope, Jessica. Jessica is a super duper huge hero in my life. She is a phenomenal mother. She is never sits down. Just sit down and she don't believe in it. You know what I'm saying? She always on the go. She always got something going on. She's always busy. And but one thing that I tell her this all the time. I'm super proud of you for being the phenomenal mother that you are. No matter how many speaking engagements you're doing, no matter how many panels you're on, no matter how many jobs you're doing, no matter how much school you're studying for, you still take your kids on vacation. You still do things with them all the time. You still take them to everywhere. Your kids live a phenomenal life. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
And I just want to applaud you for that, because that is ambition, and that's drive, and that is just the strength of a powerful woman. And I sincerely applaud you for that.
Thank you.
I sincerely applaud you for that.
That is something that's important to me, especially with National Youth HIV and AIDS Awareness Day just passing. I do advocate with my kids every now and again. My oldest, she'll be 14 this year. My middle son's 11, and my baby is 6. So we have a billboard in Fort Worth, and it's all of us on the billboard. And it says shut down the shame, because there is a lot of stigma that surrounds people living with HIV, but also a lot of times kids are not included in the conversation, and they live the life too. Even though my kids are HIV negative, they have an HIV positive mother, right? And so when I do go on these speaking engagements and things like that, number one, I'm raising boys to be men, right? The person that gave me HIV was born with HIV and didn't tell me. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot there's a lot to unpack there, right? But in teaching my boys to be men, they need to know, don't you ever do that.
Absolutely.
Like, that is wrong on so many levels.
Absolutely.
And when it comes to my daughter, when she decides to be sexually active or whatever, just know there's people out here that don't care, that will not tell you. You know what I'm saying? So it's important to give them a head start on learning how to do their own research, learning how to test results, asking, being comfortable with asking, for people's labs, test results, whatever. Don't let nobody just tell you they got tested and they good. That's how I got the situation I was in, because he was like, I'm good. So it's everybody. Honesty is not everybody's best policy. It is the best policy, but it's not everybody's policy. So at the end of the day, you just gotta look out for yourself. And that's the message that I share, because when I say know your status, I am saying know your status, because it's important to get tested regardless of your relationship status. But it is also super important to know the status of your partner, because you just knowing your own status is not enough. You got to know who you're sleeping with. Period. Point blank. I don't care what your sexual preference is. I don't care what your gender is. I don't care about none of that. The same rule applies. Period.
1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. You're preaching this gospel. You're preaching a lot of knowledge,
And you know what?
which needs to be said, that a lot of people don't talk about.
They don't.
You know what I'm
And when
saying?
HIV hit the music industry, old girl found out she had AIDS. She was real late stage, and lost her ability to walk. She was 90 something pounds in a wheelchair, and she was a Instagram model that was well known. So you have stuff that's happening. You have R. Kelly. You have this Diddy stuff. You got people popping out like, oh, so and so assaulted me, or I slept with so and so, and you got Nick Cannon got a whole bunch of kids, and I'm not saying nothing about nobody, but I am saying like 12 kids means at least 12 times you had unprotected sex, and I'm gonna need you to know who you sleeping with. You know what I'm saying? Because regardless of what your job is, how much money you make, it takes one time with one person, and that's it. And I guarantee you, everybody is not gonna tell. So it's just up to you to be responsible enough to either know the status of your partner before you engage in unprotected sex, or we all have our moments. We all have our nights where, heat of the moment, drunk night, whatever. You do have PEP. It's called post-exposure prophylaxis. It's actually a pill you can take if you feel like you've been exposed to HIV. You have to take it within 72 hours, and you can get it for free from your local emergency department.
And what's the name of that again?
PEP.
PEP. Okay.
Post-exposure prophylaxis.
Okay.
So if they ask for PEP, they'll know what drug
Okay.
that they're talking about. There's also PrEP if you are living like kind of a high risk lifestyle, or you're HIV negative and you're thinking about dating someone that is HIV positive. They have PrEP, which is pre-exposure prophylaxis, and that actually works as a preventative for anyone that is HIV negative. And there's different forms of PrEP that you can take now. There's an injectionable, there's a pill, one pill once a day. So there's a lot of options that work to prevent someone from getting HIV, or, prevent exposure after the fact if you messed around and had a good time, too good of a time.
I'm mind blown, y'all. Mind blown. This is a lot of knowledge, y'all.
It is.
This is good. Bring out your pencil and paper, write some of this stuff down, take notes, screenshot, do whatever you need to do, because Jessica up here is spitting a lot of knowledge. So I definitely appreciate that. And I hope y'all gain something from this, because this is real, y'all. Like, she is a real advocate and she's speaking on things that she knows about. Not only did she know about it, she actually went through some of the things. So take heed in what she's saying. In the hip hop community, we all love music. We all love music. But like she just spoke about, that lady in the hip hop community, she was exposed to it and didn't even know until it was a little bit too late. She lost weight. She went through things, and she was an Instagram model. And now, is the lady still alive?
Mm-hmm.
So she's still alive, and she's still fighting?
Yes.
And she's
She's
still fighting.
She had to do physical therapy. She had to learn to walk again.
Oof.
So there's something called muscle atrophy that will deplete your muscles when you have AIDS. It's a symptom of AIDS.
Oof.
So AIDS, for lack of better words, the way people tend to understand it is late stage HIV. It's kind of like a stage 4 with cancer.
Okay.
That's what AIDS is. Once you get AIDS, you can go back to having HIV. It is a numbers thing, but it's all dependent on you taking the medication the way that you're supposed to take the medication, keeping up with your doctor's appointments, stuff like that. So I see my infectious disease doctor every 6 months. When I first tested positive, I was seeing a doctor every 90 days and getting blood drawn every 90 days. So it was a lot. I was taking 2 pills twice a day. When I first tested positive, I now take 1 pill once a day. So it's very manageable. My dating life is complicated. It's complicated. It's complicated because I live my life on such a public platform.
Mm-hmm.
I think what shocks a lot of people is I've never really, I could probably think about one time that somebody was like, I can't have sex with you because of that situation. But that one time, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people are more than willing, especially once they find out it's undetectable. They're like, oh, you can't give me HIV. Let's do this without a condom. And it's like, no, let's not. Let's not.
Yes.
Because there's other STIs, STDs, that people tend to, like, don't get caught up in all of that. Like, don't just know their HIV status. Like, know everything about the person especially if you're not going to use a condom. If you're using a condom, you should still know. But it is a better safeguard than not using one. But you should still, just know at the end of the day.
You preaching. That's good.
Trying.
That's good.
Trying.
I borderline don't even want to talk about no more stuff on this card.
Why?
I don't want to talk about nothing else on this card. The message that you just gave was so on point that none of this music stuff matters. That message matters. Well, we spoke a lot. Jessica gave y'all a lot of games. She just enlightened me on a lot of stuff. I don't even know where to go. I don't know where to go. I don't even want to talk about music because that message was so much more important than music, you know? Although this is a music show, I do love music. Jessica loves music. That's why I got her on this show because we first related to, I remember her listening to T.I. album, Money Rose, Clothes and Clothes, you know what I'm saying? I'm like,
I
yo,
still love some T.I. now.
she lit, you know what I'm saying? She definitely know her music. She is an Adidas lover over Nike.
Definitely Adidas all day, all
Nike
day.
all day long, you
Yeah.
know? But her message is so much more important than music, you know. So I appreciate you definitely talking about it. So I guess we can't talk about something else. Let's talk about something else. Okay. Let's talk about, these are all new music that I want to talk about, but let's talk about your life as a Zeta. How do you like the Zeta life?
It's great.
Real quick.
Oh,
I knew her before she was a Zeta, y'all, and then she became a Zeta, and then she like super lit now. She don't got time for small peons like myself anymore. So can we talk about life as a Zeta?
let's talk about life as a Zeta.
Okay.
I joined Zeta in 2022.
Yeah.
It was something I always wanted to do, from college. It was just something I always wanted to be a part of. But when I started advocating, I wanted to do it on a much larger scale, for lack of better words. I didn't want to be in it by myself. Zeta is really big on community service and giving back. And so I felt like it was important to me to bring other Black women into my cause, and have an opportunity to share that message on a different platform. So Zeta has definitely been a blessing for me. I crossed with 18 other women. Yeah, so we are tight. And I'm appreciative because they do come through, when I need them. We're
Super
all,
dope. Super
yeah,
dope.
yeah. So Zeta has been good. I think another thing for me was after I tested positive, I said, these are the things that I want to do in my life. And Zeta was one of those things. Getting
Mhm.
my degree was another thing. I did that. Getting my master's degree, working on that. Um, you know. So these are all things that I set forth for myself and that I achieved. And I never wanted my kids to have to go. I don't never want my kids to go through something and feel like they can't be successful because they hit these speed bumps and they hit these bumps in the road. So I do more than anything in the world, the things that I do and why I do it is for my kids because to me, they have absent fathers. My ex-husband is active with my youngest, my 6-year-old. He lives in Kentucky, so it's mostly video. But outside of that, it's just me. So, I do treat my kids to travel experiences and things like that. But my kids also understand that it's a treat, that this is like a privilege, And so I expect them to get good grades. I expect them to behave. I expect them to do chores, things like that. Being a single parent is hard. It's glorified. And it's hard. It's like you wear this title of being superhuman, of being a superhero, right? Super mom.
She capping, y'all. She a superhero, so don't let her lie to y'all. She is a superhero. While she's sitting up here trying to act like she's not a superhero, she is a superhero.
But
Everybody loved Jessica. My mama loved Jessica. Okay,
I love Tamara.
she a superhero, y'all. So she is. We keep
But
going.
it's a weight to carry.
Very
You know
much
what I'm
so.
saying? Because
And you can carry that weight. You
and
have
I
been.
have. I
Yeah.
have all these years. So, I just think it's important. It was important to me, to keep going and keep showing my kids. I had when I first moved to Texas, I was making half of the salary that I make now. Exactly half. Yeah. So in 5 years, I've been with the same company for 5 years, and in 3 years, I doubled my salary.
Blessing.
So it was those things, and it's not because I knew somebody that knew somebody. It's because I go to work and I do what I'm supposed to do, and I work hard, and I think that has been paid forward. on many different levels. I recently joined our Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Council to help bring about more HIV and AIDS awareness to the organization. Even though it's a healthcare system, there is still stigma in the workplace, and there's still things that they choose to observe, and HIV and AIDS is not one of those things. So I took it upon myself to bring observance of HIV and AIDS Awareness Month and World AIDS Day in December. So I'll be hosting a lunch and learn for my organization for World AIDS Day. And
So dope. It's so dope.
if you can't beat them, join them. So I joined DEI because, I was hitting brick walls and it was important to me.
Absolutely. Somebody gonna hear it.
So I'm not one to give up. I'm not one to give up on the fight ever.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very, very, very good.
What did you learn
Today?
What did you learn today? What did you learn from me? What have you learned from me over the past 20 years?
God, I learned so much from Jessica. I don't even know where to start. Literally everything you spoke about, I learned. Of course, like the HIV and AIDS awareness. I learned a lot through your book, which I mentioned a couple times in your book. It's so much, Jessica, that I learned about you. I don't even know where to start at. It's just like asking, how do you know your brother? It's like, I just know him. Like it goes without being said.
Awareness with you? Do you take that awareness with you
And
when you're right? You're single, right? As a single Black man, do you take that with you?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
And I only started taking that with me because of you. So, and I do speak on it a lot. So, without getting too much into me, because we don't do that here on the Who's Next Music Show. This ain't the mic show, okay?
Right.
But yes, I do that. And it's solely because of you. And I speak on it a lot. And my reference point is one of my best friends, you. So I do.
I think it's important for Black men, straight Black men.
Absolutely.
That's something that's like a target audience for me.
Yeah, because we need to hear about it. Like I never heard about anything that we speak about and that we've been speaking about for a very long time until you brought it to my attention. Of course, it was a thing that we always hear about.
Right.
Of course, it's something that, we see on TV, blah, 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 blah. But when it hits home, the way that it hit home for me, I speak up all the time. I talk to my homeboys, any and everybody that'll listen, XYZ, XYZ, XYZ. And it's real. It's not a fake thing. It's real, yo. So just be careful. Wrap your willy up.
Please.
Wrap your willy up.
Dallas County has the second highest rate of new infection.
Dallas County does?
Dallas County. Next to Harris County because it houses Houston. And Houston is the 4th largest city in the United States. So, that goes without saying. But point is, you just got to know.
Yeah.
Get tested. Get tested after you have a new partner. Don't just get tested every year if you're sleeping with multiple people throughout the year. You got to get tested when you change partners.
Okay, so you recommend getting tested after every new partner
that you had unprotected sex with that you don't know their status.
Roger. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Or if they told you their status and you did not see that what they told you was true.
Okay.
And y'all, you can access labs from your phone. I use, there's LabCorp, Quest, whatever. All of it is electronic.
Yeah.
I could put, if somebody said, I don't believe that your viral load is undetectable, let me show you.
Exactly. You can pull it up.
I can definitely pull it up on my phone, log into my account, and it'll be there. Don't let nobody tell you that they can't, they don't have it. No, just no. Just no.
Yes.
Go to Tarrant County Public Health or your clinic, whatever, with them. If it's somebody that you're in a relationship with, that you're serious with, go get tested together. If you're married, go get tested together every year. I speak about this experience a lot, but I spoke at UIC, University of Illinois, Chicago.
Okay. Yeah.
And I met a 63-year-old woman that had just tested positive 2 years prior, and she had been married like 30 years.
Obviously, she contracted from her husband.
Yes. So her story was the husband cheated,
Right.
and that's how she contracted HIV. So, there's two sides to every story. So that's the story that I was told.
Okay.
But long story short, like, it don't matter if you're married 30 years
Oof.
or 2 years. You should always just get tested. It should just be a part of your checkups, your annual checkups, whatever. Men and women, because a lot of men tend to know their status because somebody called them and said, "Hey, I just tested positive. You might want to go get tested." You know what I'm saying? Like,
I ain't gonna
no,
lie, we used
bro.
to do that in college, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. It's definitely a man
So,
thing.
definitely a man thing.
Oh,
It's
you
not
straight?
uncommon.
I'm straight. All right, we good. You know what I'm saying?
It's not uncommon. It's not uncommon. Like, it happens still today in our, in our 30s, 40s, whatever. Like, it's somebody calling you like, "Oh, I just tested positive for
What's
this."
your results say?
Exactly. And then sharing medication. Like,
oh,
men not even gonna go. A lot of times they don't even go and get. They gonna say, "Okay, your word is bond." Like, okay, you take one, I'll take one. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really happens like that. It's crazy. But you got to take control of your health.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day.
Absolutely. That's the moral of the subject. Take control of your health and always get tested after every new partner. Absolutely. Absolutely. Jessica, that was a lot.
It was.
That was a lot. Let's forget everything on this card.
Okay.
Let's wrap it up.
Let's do it.
Because you spoke about a whole lot that we all need to pack up and pack in. And hopefully that everybody learned something from this episode. Jessica, before we go, how can they reach you? What are your handles?
Life, Love, and HIV. For my Instagram, my YouTube channel, my TikTok is Life, Love, and HIV. And then lifeloveandhiv.com to order the book. If you want a signed copy, if you just want it off Amazon in 2 days, you can go ahead and order it off of Amazon and get it via Prime or whatever. It just won't be signed if you order it that way. But yeah, I'm here. I'm on social media. I do like to give a disclaimer that I do not answer direct messages. If you recently tested positive and things like that, I'm available at bookjglaspie@gmail.com if you need resources. But as far as can you talk me off the ledge, things like that, it is a very, very, very heavy weight to carry. I used to answer all the messages. I wanted to be that advocate that was like, "Oh, nobody left behind." And then somebody I was in communication with committed suicide.
Oh.
And I stopped after that. Yeah. So I do talk about that on one of my TikToks. There's the story on there. But she had reached out to me a few times. She had been following me for years. And she had reached out and said that she knew somebody that had recently tested positive, and she was calling me on Messenger. Never met her a day in my life. She was just following me. We had a couple conversations. She ordered the book, things like that. But a cousin of hers had reached out to me maybe months later and asked me how I knew her. And I was like, I don't know her. She just follows me. We had a couple conversations via Messenger, about my book and things like that. And she told me that she had committed suicide. So I think that maybe it was her that had tested positive for HIV and that she just didn't know how to handle it or didn't want to disclose to me, which, was fine. But that is like something that is like, I can't unsee. So I stopped, trying to build relationships and rapport and stuff like that with people that are like me or that are living the life that I live right now, because it just gets too heavy. Yeah. So, sorry, went down a rabbit hole, but I don't answer. You're good. I don't answer direct messages. So you can follow me. If you need some resources, please send me an email. I'm happy to send resources if I have them. But as far as any just like sidebar conversations and things like that, I don't answer those.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, That was episode 24. It was
Yes.
24. It was
Yep,
episode 24
24.
with my guest, the immaculate Jessica Glaspie, The Truth. Check out her book, y'all. Go get her book. Definitely follow her on all handles. It's worth it. She's worth it. She has so much information. Just reach out to her, talk to her. If she reach back to you, she will, if she got time, you know. So, and also send her some new music. Monica, some new R&B. She loves music, some new Adidas stuff, some new cool places for the kids, vacation spots. Like, she's a person, y'all. So definitely reach out to her. Definitely get to know her. Get in tune with her. Jessica's the truth. I vouch for her. I stand on her 10 toes, 1,000,000% behind it. Anything Jessica got going on, I'm behind her 1,000,000%. So I would like to thank you, obviously, for coming up.
Of course.
You're a spectacular guest. Guys, thank you guys once again for tuning in. Once again, we are here at Live Wix. Check out Live Wix Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Check out their event page. They got things going on from karaoke to fish fries to live music. It's a lot of stuff going on here at Live Wix in Arlington, Texas. Y'all check them out. Look, I'm on my Keith Lee stuff. So
Maybe I'll do a book signing here. That'd be cool, huh?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So Jessica just said she should do a book signing here. You should.
You might be able to catch me here.
You should. So y'all, thank y'all so much for tuning in to episode 24 of the Who's Next Music Show with your host, Uncle Mikey. Till next time, y'all.